Who wants to pray? Christina. Yeah, pray for us.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for allowing us to be here together, even despite all of the technical issues that's been going on.
That goes for Christians too, because just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you put God first. So it's the thing of like, who is your superior really your superior, and is
Simi, and you're welcome to another episode of With God and Love. If it's your first time here, you are welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. And yes, let's get right into it. Today I have some of the most amazing people, my great friends, and I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. But today we're talking about a juicy topic. We're talking about platonic friendships, and I don't think you guys are ready for this conversation. So I'm gonna go left all the way so they can introduce themselves, and we're gonna get right into it. Okay, you start.
So my name is Ebenezer Orumwense, and I have known Simi for how long now?
4 years.
4 beautiful years.
4 years, yes.
More years to come.
Yes, he's taking. Don't look at him.
My name's Christina. We don't know how long we've known each other.
Almost 2 years now?
I guess 2 years.
Yeah. Okay, I know time is flying.
Hi, I'm her husband.
Oh.
Haziel.
I will tell y'all.
That's my man.
Haziel, and I think I've known Simi for a
4
real long
years,
time.
yeah. 2019, 2018?
2018.
Yeah, 2018. Wow.
God is good.
And then
All the time.
all the time.
Y'all already know me. My name is Anu.
My best friend of 10 years.
Yes, that one.
Okay, so we're gonna start. Today we're gonna shake tables.
Guys, he
and
shakes
reason
the
why,
table.
Honestly, I feel
He shakes the table.
The reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because I feel like a lot of times Christians are not honest about a lot of their experiences. And I feel like platonic friendships is such a touchy one. Because I know at least one person has caught feelings for their best friend in this circle. At least one, maybe two. But yeah, so we're just gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna start with the very first question. Can men and women be friends? If you think yes, why? And if you think no, why not?
Okay,
Maybe
best friends.
Yes,
Okay.
maybe best friends.
All
Yeah.
right.
Who wants to start?
Hi guys, Simi editing here, and I have a few pointers. First of all, I want to thank my friends who filmed this video with me in the middle of the Rogers difficulty. If you know, you know. All of our internet went out that day, and yeah. We still made it. I do want to say that as much as possible, we do try to be objective in this video, but obviously our personal experiences, our opinions will come up. If there are any that you do not agree with, or if there are any you agree with, please be respectful if you leave a comment. Another thing I wanted to say is that we generalize, so we say Christian men, Christian women, men, women. Again, we know that we're not speaking for everyone, but it just is easier in conversations to generalize like that, just to pass your point across. And then another thing is that we are respectful of other people. We know that people are in different spaces, different experiences, and so this is not to attack anyone or anything like that. This is just us having a conversation, and so I hope you guys keep that in mind as you're watching this.
Who wants to go?
Generally, no.
Oh.
Okay.
Generally, no. But obviously there are exceptions to every general rule, right? So here's my why. And for men,
You
will-
answer from a man's
Yeah.
perspective.
men will always have that idea that it may work with this girl. No matter how much they convince themselves they want to be friends with her, there's going to be part of him that's going to be like, relationship might actually work with this girl if I get the opportunity. But for women, I'm going to assume, because I don't really know, I'm going to assume that that's not the case. I'm going to assume that for women, it is more or less, this person is my friend and that's it.
Does anybody else?
I would actually differ, like opposite. I would say yes. Differ is, I think, when I was growing up, initially I had best friends as guys. My parents were never like, oh no, opposite sex is your best friend. It was never that. I think friendship comes from like how you guys relate, not necessarily who it is. That does not mean that you can be, this is where I go into boundaries of what your friendship looks like. So the reason I said that is later on in my life, I began realizing that my best, if I don't really do best friends anymore, but like my closest friends were more women than men. And I found the reason was when I actually came to Canada, like it's very hard to hold a conversation with a man because the next thing they talk about is perverted stuff. And so I'm like, can we just talk about something more than just this? Or like, let's talk about, but when I had conversations with women, we could have like interactive conversations, and I think those always work because of also my personality. That's another part I'll say is, I know he spoke about exceptions to the rule, but I also think it's also the way we look at ourselves deep down, because what I mean by that is God did not create us, like, yes, as a man we're attracted to what we see, but I believe that God still created us to love. It's just like saying I'm going to be tempted because I'm going to go preach to a prostitute. Or when the prostitute fell before Jesus, the next thing goes in his head. I know he was God, a man, but next thing goes in and says, oh my God, she's naked. But all I'm saying to that is, yes, there are attractions that can happen. The way I phrased it was, I used to tell God, I want to look at a woman the way a grandmother looks at younger women. I'll explain. What that means is, if you've seen those viral videos of like grandmas talking to younger, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Your breasts are like, oh, big. Your bum is this. But they never put any, like, let's be honest, we all have buttocks, right? Like it's still physically there no matter the size, right? But when a grandmother looks at a younger one, they don't go as like, oh, like I'm attracted to this. And that was a prayer I would always ask God. Is I want to look at a woman. I've said this in our relationship is I could look at a woman and go like, you're and admire you, like you're beautiful. No one takes that from you. But I don't need to. I think it's a society we're in today that sexualizes everything. I'll give you an example that's personal to me. When I was in high school here, grade 11 and 12, the person I became friends with, she was Ghanaian. The way I always put it is, if you know anything about Ghanaian women is, let's just say they're well packaged, right? But
you guys are so continue.
Wait.
You should know.
No, be honest. Be honest.
So to this, what I'm saying though is, I became friends with this.
Okay. It
was like, I don't look at her and go like, oh my God, like you have a big this. Oh my God, you have. And I remember vividly because I played American football in school, and every time someone saw me walking with her, they go like, oh, you piping that? And I'm like, calm down, like you could just like know someone. As not that I was not blind to what, like that she was a pretty person or anything like that. It's just for me, pretty, like I could admire you without putting anything sexual to it. Right, and I think that's the problem with society is a lot of men these days have sexualized everything, and this is even why we're having the whole topic about
platonic friendships,
platonic friendships and all that. But it's, I feel like once we can take away, like I said, look at a younger woman the way a grandma will look at, just like you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. The way we grew up is, I could admire someone and compliment them in the beauty that they have without perverting that thought. And I think perversion is actually what is killing our men in today's society. Now, don't get me wrong, that does not mean I don't put boundaries on how our friendship works. Now, I also spoke about my personality. My personality is, when I friend zone someone, I friend zoned you. There's no maybe, ifs, buts, and is we went into this when I started dating her, like, I had intentions, and I hadn't even become like good friends with her. Like I knew her, checked. I think it was about 4 months before. I made my intentions clear. But I don't do the whole like, okay, let's become friends for a good while, and then one day someone catches feelings, then the next person's like, I don't really know, and then after I was like, oh my god, I caught feelings for you, and then this person's done. No, my life was always simplified because when I went into a relationship, I kept it as I wanted it to be going forward.
That's a good thought.
Right.
That's really good.
So that's not like, oh, I wanted to talk to her because she was pretty. I don't want to talk to her. I want to become close. So it becomes a point where we could hang out and like, there's nothing of like, oh, what's gonna happen.
Are you agreeing? Are you agreeing here?
No,
But yeah, so for me there was nothing of like, oh, something ifs and buts will happen. Like, even when we had like, this was also a conversation that came in our relationship, was okay, how are we gonna like relate your dynamic with women now that we're in a relationship? Because yes, when I was single, I'm not thinking about, oh, I'm hanging out too much with this person or too less with this person. But in a relationship, your boundaries now that we've talked about is, I can't be, in a person's house past midnight. What are you doing alone with someone's house? Now, I know myself, because when I was even single, there was nothing that was going to happen, because in my head, nothing was going to happen. Right? And I make that very clear for the next person, is like we'll make it's so like we could comfortable that like that never comes up of like, oh, maybe I have feelings for you. No, we're like, this is a friendship and this is how it's built going forward. Right. So that's where I would
wired uniquely. Let me hear the ladies.
Yeah.
Can men and women be best friends? Let's hear it from you, babes.
I feel like I still stand by what do we mean by best friends? Because then I have a question for you. I want to ask, like, okay, so that friend that you had, what was the nature of your friend? You don't have to answer right now. But like, it's like, was it like, were you guys, because it's like, if you define best friends, it's y'all are doing everything together, y'all are hanging out, y'all are
Okay, let me maybe define best friends. So when I say women, like, let's take out best friends, because I think when women hear best friends, we are hearing bestie forever, we're going out, doing everything together. But I think close friends, like, oh, I can, rely on you, you can rely on me. I can open up to you in some areas, talk to you. Obviously with like, let's leave boundaries on the side. I can tell you what's going on in my life. You know my family, you know my friends, you know what I do. You are my close friend, and maybe my mom knows you there, my dad knows you there, but it's not like, there's no relation, we're just friends. That's how I define best friends.
Yeah, because to even answer your question, like I said, I don't do best friends.
Close friends, let's say close friends.
Yeah, so I do close friends. We were like in high school, there was 4 of us that were like a friend group, right? And I was the only guy, and like I'll have people like, oh, you dating this? I'm like, there's nothing happening between me and any of them. This is just a friendship because we define. And now we could go do something. Like, oh, like, we're hanging out. I'll go to her house to go eat. I think her mom even knows about me, but not like we'll talk about. I guess I think the question we're also getting at is, how deep does a conversation go? We talk about everything, but that doesn't mean like, of course I was in a relationship then, but we talk about real stuff, lust, what is going on in your life, and the people.
Wow! Wow!
Let me jump.
But yes,
here's what I'm going to jump in, is that your view is subjective. It's subjective in the sense that it's your experience, right? And even when you were speaking based on your stand or what you believe, you also made some observations, which is 1, a lot of men, 2, society. So in the essence, the objective view is that it's a no.
It's not good.
Right? That's the
But
objective
for
view.
you, yeah.
But to you, which means you fall in the bucket of the exception. And I'm going to even give you evidence. American Scientific did a study on this, and they went to universities.
Guys, I'm editing this video and we're only one question in, and this video is 30 minutes long, and I'm out here like, I still have a couple more parts, so how am I gonna fit it all? But honestly, I'm just excited for you guys to watch the whole thing.
To go ask people who are of the opposite sex that are close friends about how do they feel about their friendship. And they found out that for the women or the girls, more of them felt that the friendship was a friendship. Right? And more men actually felt some type of way, which is they felt some sort of additional
I would
attraction.
have thought it was a flip.
Yeah, me too.
No, it was
No,
actually the men.
I would actually agree with
It was
that.
actually the men. So the men felt more attracted to the women. Obviously, there were women who were attracted, but the numbers showed that more men wanted more out of the friendship.
Yeah.
That's an objective truth.
Yeah.
The objective truth is that most men cannot be merely friends with a woman.
Let's hold this. Women,
Yeah.
tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm split between two. This is, I think it's possible,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't think that, like, I think there's gonna be some percentage of friends that are just friends on both ends. But I think it's very difficult. Like, I personally, like, I have friends that are like guys that I know, like, this is just friendship. And I think for me, and I guess you said it's probably easier for girls, but I feel like for me at least, it just helps two things: to know the criteria for deciding to like somebody, because I feel like sometimes people just think, wow, I like him. He brought me this, that's it. You know, so it's like, have your criteria.
Christian women,
Like, exactly. What does it take for you to say, I am interested
Some
in
of them have
somebody?
been single for so long.
I'm not trying to.
Even a little bit of, is your neck pinning you? It's not
So it's
Remind
like,
me.
catch yourself and know your criteria for somebody being worth your time relationship wise. And then the second thing is like knowing what you want. Like, not just knowing what you want, like this, like define it for yourself.
I agree.
This is a friendship, and hold yourself to some standard. So the reason why I think it's difficult is that, okay, what if you're actually looking to date somebody, right? And then like this person comes along, it's then become like, okay, he wants to be friends, but then it becomes so dynamic that like, can I this that? But I feel like the reason why it's difficult is that a lot of people are in a space where like they're looking for a relationship, but then it's like
Your friend comes along.
you get somebody trying to be a friend. That's very difficult. But I feel like if maybe like married couples, they, like if you're married or you have a partner already and then you meet somebody, it might be easier because you're not searching.
Yeah.
But then that's still like it's still a what is your criteria and like what are your intentions from the start is what I think. So I think it's possible. And that's why I also think it's very important to define like what's a best friend, because like I'm glad that you defined it, because a lot of people try to do that thing of like we hang out all the time, he sleeps over my mind, I sleep over
they don't know what they're doing.
we cook together. I'm like,
Some people are
because
Except
You're
when you seem
trying.
attracted, and then that's a whole
And
different.
that's
That's
a
a
whole
whole
other
different
dynamic.
dynamic.
but
But-
then it's
Yeah.
a thing of like what are you defining this friendship by, and then that helps you to actually keep it as a friendship. So I think it's possible, but like I don't see it.
Okay, do you have?
I guess mine kind of piggybacks up what Annie says. My answer is gonna be short-winded. No.
She's like,
No, I don't think so. I witnessed it so much in the past. Like I had one friend, it was a guy and a girl, and I randomly they just started hooking up, and I was like, this really came out of nowhere. But no, I don't think they can unless you have boundaries in place. I don't think they can.
I think were you done? Sorry, did I interrupt you? I think men and women can be good friends, close friends, yes, even. And I'm gonna go into like when I started. So before Christ, I had brothers too. I have two brothers, so I was more comfortable with being friends with men. But it came from a place of insecurity because I always thought they're not gonna like me, and so that just made it easy. So I was friends with all of them, and so then they would tell me about their girlfriends, who they liked, that kind of conversation. So I was their guy, like I was that kind of like, oh, guy. When I felt like, oh, I'm feeling attraction towards this person, I would brother zone him without thinking twice. And that's because I wasn't looking for a relationship. So I knew what I wanted, and so then, but there was no room for blurry lines. There was no room for blurry lines. When the line was blurry, I told you, I do not like you. You take it or you leave it. And so that was it. So then when I came into Christ, then it was like God addressed those insecurities, and now it's like oh, now they can like me. That then changed everything, because I'm like, oh, okay, how do I navigate this? So what I did then was, okay, I'm gonna look for a way out because I like solutions. I'm like, I'm gonna make friends with men who are already in relationships because they're dating someone. There's a boundary, so then I don't have to calculate anything. So I started making friends with men who I wasn't attracted to physically, who were not what I wanted, or men that were in relationships.
Damn, that doesn't help me feel good.
Because you know, when she became friends with you were single.
We all came in like
some men I was not attracted to.
Men I was not attracted to, bro.
Doesn't mean I'm not attracted.
No, it doesn't mean you're not attractive. You're just not what I was looking for. And that was it, you know? And so I came in, I started doing that, and I thought that just helped. And I'm like, wow, it's great to have this kind of friends. But then the Holy Spirit was like, okay, you need to talk to more people. Because then I was in a position where I had to make friends with single male, you know, at church. And it's like, okay, how is this going to work? You're not single, don't win. But then it became like, okay, boundaries. I think a lot of boundaries, a lot of things have to go into it for it to be successful.
Right.
Now, does it get blurry? Does one person catch feelings? It might happen. But yeah, that was kind of my story. And I think the reason why I asked this question is because, like you guys are saying, it's almost difficult and almost impossible, literally, for men and women to be friends. But I think there's a place for it in the church.
Yeah.
And that makes me then ask you, what happens at church? Because we need each other, right? Like it says in the word, like male and female, we created them, and we need each other. And usually at church, we have more women than men.
Right.
So, you know, so if a man is coming into church and he's single, for example, and there are all these sisters who are likely single, no shade. You know, it's like, how does he navigate that if you're communicating that? It's almost difficult for, then he's not going to have friends?
So I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would just say that for most people, it's naturally not possible for them. So for those that it's possible, it goes down to that exception side, right? So there are those who is actually literally, like Haziel just narrated to us, it's very possible. And as well as me too, in my own experience, like in university, I had, I think, 16 girls that were my friends. And people thought I was moving around with a troop of girls, ready to dish them out. That wasn't the case.
That's a question I have. Like, when guys and girls are friends, why do people always butt in and be like, it's not okay, very cute.
A lot of people wanted to be my friends, like because it kind of moved into law school as well. And in law school, I think there were about 8 of them that came, so we ended up being in the same law school. And then there was this group of guys who usually go to a particular place to hang out, so they wanted to be my friend because like
you knew so many
ladies. How does he know all these girls and why are they always?
Is he a pimp?
Literally had that idea, but that was not the case, right? So for me, in making friends with people of the opposite sex, or women rather, it's 4 things I do. 1 is that I'm honest with myself. 2, I lay down the boundaries. 3, I ensure there are no expectations on anything to take place. And then 4, I leave space for acceptance and understanding in that friendship.
And disagree.
Exactly.
You need to step away, you need to step away.
Exactly.
Another drawback to when you talked about general and exceptions is, I think I'm speaking more to Christian men. Will be my specifics. Because when I mention things like society and other men, I'm speaking more of men out there, men not in God. Because the way I saw it was like you shared is, we need each other. So does that just mean that, like you said, there's more women than men?
Church,
Does that mean I'm going for every other woman? No, there will be that chance that they'll become friends. But to that, what I'm also saying is, this is like God, that's what I'm saying. For me at least, God was changing.
I think there's grace for it.
I was just about to say that. So I was also going to say that the thing that makes it really possible overall for a man and a woman to be in that platonic relationship is that they need to be one middle thing.
Common factor.
They need to be one thing that drives that friendship. So it's not one superior thing that drives that friendship. It leads to assumptions, leads to feelings arising, right?
Let's assume they're both Christians.
So this is where, to that is right. That's what I'm saying is, as for the Christian people, and I'm not saying all, like, we all walked in the church to be saved. That means you have your pastor. Agreed.
On that point, people actually come to church to find a spouse.
People choose
Which is
churches
crazy.
to find spouses.
There's that. My point to this about friendship though was more so, what is your heart? Like, if you're to your point, if you're coming to find a spouse, the intent is there.
Yeah.
There's no, I was there to try. I feel like, especially since we're so young, you'll find that like sometimes you're doing the same course as someone else. You guys can study together. My math class. She was on my, she was in my math class, and we took that class together. And I kid you, like math was my subject, but she would push me to become better because she would call, let's go check our answers. But that friendship started off with church, God being the center of it, and we like educate ourselves. Okay, there's this thing I want to know about God. What is this? What is your thought on this? And then we talk. So like you said, that common factor has to be there. That's why I say this has to be for Christians, because I feel like when we step into the world, like I shared, is the reason.
Let's not step into the world.
But like I said, is the reason why I couldn't be friends with people out there. Like I shared was the question they asked is, you piping that. This thing was honesty, knowing like truly what am I going to. Like if I'm attracted to you. And I'm trying to like test the water of friendship, and I'm not honest with myself, that will mess up the dynamics, because I'll keep hanging on for so long and like just hurting yourself inside, because maybe the other person doesn't know that person right doesn't like you, or
I want to piggyback off that and say that what happens with a lot of women is maybe not a lot of women, but women are like friends. Usually, a lot of us go in with the intention of I want to be friends with this person. To be honest, a lot of them do.
Okay.
And then they're friends, and then along the way, somebody catches feelings, or somebody's attracted. Maybe let's even go to attraction. Are attraction always feelings?
No.
Do we all agree that attraction not always feelings?
I think it is, because you have to like something.
At some point, all of us were attracted to Zac Efron.
And that becomes what you would call some sort of crush, depending on the level.
But that's where I would differ though, because a crush is a built, sustained attraction, is how I would define that.
That's what some sort. Right?
No,
so
no,
the qualifying, so the qualifying adjective there is the some sort.
Because because like I said, I can admire. This was I would say something like I could look at someone like I shared earlier. I'm like, damn, this person is beautiful. That's it. Like let's next top models or something. We're not blind. The reason you're winning is because you're pretty. That's where it ends. That could be an attraction.
It doesn't have to be all the way to full on liking, full on falling in love with the person. Because if you're attracted to something, you have some sort of liking to that thing naturally. That's how I see it. And so again, it doesn't need to drive you to now want to do more or break your commitment to someone else and things like that, right? So attractions are not bad, right? Like literally, if we are to break down what even Jesus spoke about when he was trying to talk about adultery, right? Well, what did he say? He said, if you see and you then think about it, he didn't say if you see. Right, so seeing something means wow, you confirm, like literally what you just said, right? It's, you confirmed it, and then it didn't first stay in your mind. You didn't go all about going in your room and or like pretty much just making that person think in your head. Like, you didn't know, like doing all of that becomes a problem, right? And to draw back to like what you were talking about with in church, I still say most men in church can be friends with women.
No, agree,
right?
Agree.
And a lot of them do the smart thing of shying away, staying away from that type of connection, because they're also trying to go through the process of kind of helping themselves through the Holy Spirit, definitely, to get to that point where they are now comfortable to be friends with, be around the opposite sex.
Like, even in friendship, I feel like everybody knows that moment, that time when your friend is switching, as in before they were friends, now they're kind. They're talking about let me support you. You know, like a little bit. And I feel like if you're honest, but it's like if you're honest with yourself, like it's that thing of being honest with yourself and knowing like what you want out of this life, because sometimes we allow people to we string people along, not because we're mean, but we need the self-esteem boost, that wow, somebody likes me, I don't really like him back, I'm just saying where it goes.
Attention is nice.
It's like, why is the attention nice knowing that you don't want this to go anywhere? Why are you wasting this person's time? You're trying to have a friendship and you're not helping him. It's not like he's a lost cause and he just loves everybody. No, he's taking a liking to you. Be honest, because perhaps he does have the capacity to be friends, but he just does not know. He's not clear. He has this idea that it's possible. Why don't you lay it down and it's that thing of that room for disagreement or
are people able to communicate that though?
Exactly, which is the point. It's like the Holy Spirit convicts you. And that's why honestly I'm always glad I'm Christian, because the Holy Spirit will tell you which love are you getting, who is your support, what is your backbone right now? Is it somebody's likeness to you, or is it my own sacrifice on the cross? Which one of them both?
And I think I think one thing that I appreciate about Haziel's view is that I think is the way men and women at church should think. We're here to love each other with the love of Christ. I know that everybody is in different places in their walk, but I think we should be able to enjoy friendship. I think we should be able to support each other, because I think men and women, we're wired differently, you know, and there's something each side brings to the table that I think we can't allow lust and you know, the way the world has defined it, and the culture of men and women can't be friends. We can't let that influence that, because then it's like no, but every part of the body is necessary though. Every part of the body is important, and so it's like it's so key when like you have to work through your problems. You know, if you know you're struggling, you know, if you know you're looking for a spouse, don't be acting like you're not. You know. No, be honest with yourself, which then brings me to the question of what kind of boundaries. I know we've touched on it, but what kind of boundaries need to be in place for platonic friendships to thrive? Bye.